Welcome to the Voter's Choice. Thank you for tuning in on the show that gives you, the voter, the choice by giving you information about the candidate you wouldn't find on flyers or 30-second commercials. Today we have as our guest Angie Paz Carver. She's running for state representative in District number 33. Hi Angie, how you doing?
Hi, it's good to be here.
I'd like to start by telling us a little bit about you and your family.
Well, I've been married for 36 years and I have 4 children. They're all adults now. I have Jamie, my Estes, who lives in Denver. Jennifer Carver, she's working on her master's in intercultural studies and English as a second language. She's been a missionary to various parts of Asia and desires to go back as a missionary. My son Stephen is working on his PhD in orchestral conducting at James Madison University in Virginia. And Christopher's completing his degree and presently in Germany doing an intensive language program to learn German. So I have 4 children, amazing children. And we also have done treatment foster care. I wasn't ready to have an empty nest, so we decided to take in some treatment foster children. And it's been a learning experience, learning the lives of some of the children that we've had in our homes and the problems that they've faced, and the legal systems and the probation office and many things that you don't usually encounter on a day-to-day basis. But it's opened my eyes to what can be done for the treatment foster kids. One area in the treatment foster care that bothers me is sometimes I think we set them out to fail. We may take care of them until they turn 18, but when they turn 18, all the services drop. And so these kids are pushed out of the system, but they're not ready to make all those decisions. Even some of the transitional living situations or things do not prepare them like a normal family prepares them to make these choices and decisions. So many times they fall back into the judicial system doing something that affects their life, because now they're of legal age and these choices are lifelong, have lifelong consequences.
Wow, it looks like a lot of candidates talk about these things, but you live them. So you talk from real experience and real understanding.
That's one of the reasons I feel like I'm qualified to be able to go into Santa Fe, because I know the conditions of some of my families that I take care of and the treatment foster kids experiences that they come from.
And you know what works and what doesn't work.
What doesn't work.
You're with the Paz and the Carver family. Can you fill us in a little bit?
Well, my name is Angie Paz Carver, and my father was George Paz and my mother Angela Paz. And the Paz family has been in this area since before New Mexico was a state. My grandfather was once chairman of the Republican Party, and my dad owned and operated Bronson Printing Company, which printed many local published newspapers for many, many years. And but his first love was engineering, chemical engineering. My dad, in his later years, helped develop a lot of water systems for rural communities along the southern part of the county and into El Paso County. And his family, there are many people that people know around this community. His brother Raymond Paz, and he was an optometrist. Paz Park was named after Raymond because he was working with the city of Las Cruces in the Parks and Recreation Committee for years, and so they honored him by naming Paz Park. And his son, Dr. Thomas Paz, who is now an optometrist and serves many clients in this community. My sister, Dr. Conchita Paz, also works here with Family Care Associates and is a member of the Mountain View Regional Medical Center. All
right.
my brothers and sisters have gone to college. My parents, even though they didn't have any money to afford college, they found a way to get the education because education was important to my father. And That was a value that he's passed on to me.
Besides the Paz side, there's a Carver side to your background.
Well, my husband's family were early settlers in the Mesilla Valley. His grandfather had the farm right where St. Clair's Bistro is.
Mm-hmm.
That was a Carver farm. There was Doc Carver. He was one of the first dentists in this area. Carver Road is named after him. The Carver Building was named after him. Sometimes people don't know where the Carver Building is, but it's the Coa's bookstore on the downtown mall. So the Carvers have had a big impact. His sister, Sharon, also became a dentist, and she was here for many years. A lot of patients know her.
Oh, great. It's like you are firmly grounded in this community, and you have decided to run for office. So tell us why.
With the challenges facing the state, with the struggling economy, the healthcare crisis, and our being ranked 49th in the country with child welfare and poverty, this is my moment in time. My life experiences have drawn me perfectly to this point in time to help bring to Santa Fe new, fresh ideas. We cannot continue moving in the same direction or doing business as usual in the state of New Mexico if we want to move forward.
Why would a Democrat vote for Angie Paz Carver? Give me that information.
Well, most of my family are Democrats, and I know they'd vote for me. So,
well, there you go. Okay. Just with the
And I have a
Pazes, you could win the election.
large family. Republicans and Democrats have a lot of similar values. They both care about traditional family values, thriving education, and a strong economy. I know what my constituents need and what their concerns are.
And what do they need? What are your goals like once you get elected?
I have 3 goals that I would like to
Okay.
see in terms of being elected. Early child development, healthcare reform, and supporting small business development. With early child education, I propose expanding early child intervention services from birth to 5. I would also like to launch a statewide campaign called Read to Your Child that encourages parents and adults to read to their child from birth. This partnering with other organizations such as the Children's Reading Foundation of Doña Ana County will help increase not only the benefits of reading, but it will strengthen family relationships, parent-child relationships, and it may decrease the numbers of children affected by social promotion. And then healthcare. I would like to work as a liaison to create a preventive, affordable health insurance. I would also propose to eliminate the gross receipts tax on healthcare providers. This is a detrimental tax. They cannot pass it on to the consumer, and the idea is not to increase costs to the consumer with this tax, but to eliminate the tax altogether. This will draw and attract healthcare providers and keep our healthcare providers in our state. I'd also like to make sure I'm actively fighting for the best healthcare that our state can provide. With small business, I'd like to support and propose tax initiatives to help small business thrive and grow. When they grow, they're creating jobs. As a small business owner, I know when my business is thriving, it creates job opportunities.
Angie, tell me about your business. What have you done business-wise to qualify you to be making these decisions?
I was one of the first nurse practitioners in the state to hang my shingle. In 1993, the legislature said the nurse practitioners can have independent practice and prescriptive privileges. So in 1995, I decided let's do it. And my business name is Mesilla Valley Healthcare Associates. And we've been in business 17 years, family practice. We have a lot of children in my practice. I have 2 other nurse practitioners in with me, Esna Navarro and Jimmy Hauser, and it has grown. And with my practice, I also have a component of community education we call Full Potential Program. And with the Full Potential Program, they provide in the school districts character education to help teenagers learn to make healthy choices. They learned refusal skills, they learned how to make decisions, how to choose friends, how to make better choices. And we've been doing that part of the program for about 5 years. And I also am a director of a peer mentor group called CATS, Concerned About Teen Sexuality. And this peer mentor group goes into schools and does presentations to encourage kids also to make healthy choices. So.
Oh, you've been quite involved in business and in the community.
And in the community.
I hear about people that are questioning candidates on their faith and on their religion. So I want to bring that up and let's get that out in the open. Do you think and how do you think your Christian faith will affect your voting decisions?
Everybody is affected by their values or their lack of values. My morals and values are a reflection of my faith and the lens through which I make decisions. I seek the prayers of my constituents, not just their votes. I want their prayers so that the decisions we make are for the best of our state.
Now with Obamacare, it's been this argument whether health care is a right or a privilege. What do you think? Is health care a right or is it a privilege?
Well, the question is more like, is it a right or a mandate? With the right, you have a choice. You have a choice to pick this or that or not at all. With a mandate, it takes away your choice. For example, if you were to have a right to vote, you have the right to pick this candidate or not vote at all. With a mandate, you have no choice. There's only one person. I am in favor of a right. The government is in favor of a mandate.
Wow, that's a very interesting way of putting it. Let's follow up a little bit more on that. You mean it's sort of like they're forcing you to vote and then forcing you to vote for a certain candidate. That's just like the worst communist countries there are.
Kind of scary, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, you're correct. A right is where you have the choice to do something or the choice not to do something, and within that choice you have the ability to go whatever direction.
That's what I'm seeing with the mandate, that with the mandate it's taking away a lot of our choices. Personally, I'm afraid that we may end up in like the Dark Ages because we will not have any choices, and research and development with drugs and equipment and will slow down because nobody's going to pay for it. The government won't provide it. You can't ask for it. So what will that do for research and development of new medications and new equipment to save lives?
Wow, and that leaves also the government deciding who lives and who dies. So you're really saying what we need in this country is real rights, God-given rights.
Correct.
All right, I like that. Let's go on to another right that people have, education. What do you think about that?
Well, I support Susana Martinez's prevention of the social promotion and keeping kids back at 3rd grade, but I think we need to start earlier than that. That's why I'm promoting my early child proposal, because if we can identify these children at a younger age and work with language development, language and reading go together. If we can work with these children, they catch up really quickly, and it may decrease the numbers of kids that are affected by social promotion.
And reading to your child, that puts a frame of mind that reading is something really good because they feel it, they feel the emotion when they're younger.
Well, studies have shown that even in the womb, the child hears voices, they hear music, and all of this stimulation is very important intellectually for the child. That's why they have baby Einsteins, music and products, because they have found these things do affect the learning of the child.
let's suppose you get elected, okay? What committees would you like to sit on?
The education, the healthcare reform, the budget. I am open and ready to serve. I have experience in many of those areas. Small business.
What about your background equips you to sit on these different committees?
I am a small business owner. I've had my business for 17 years. I know what it means at payroll. I am a nurse practitioner, so I'm familiar with the health care issues and the changing issues that are occurring presently. I have been involved with character education in 4 different school districts, so I'm familiar with what's happening in the schools and education. I am a Navy veteran. I am a mother. I've been married for 36 years.
Oh, that's great.
I have a lot of experiences.
Tell us more about this veteran status.
Well, I was in the Navy, and I was during the Vietnam conflict,
Wow.
and I was a hospital corpsman.
Did you go to Vietnam?
No, I didn't go to Vietnam. I worked in stateside in different hospitals on East and West Coast.
So tell me, where were you stationed? What happened during those years?
Well, I got my training as a corpsman in San Diego, and then I was stationed the rest of my term in Bethesda, Maryland at the National Naval Medical Center. And when I was stationed there, I got to see a number of very prominent people. I got to meet Hubert Humphrey. I got to meet John Warner, who also became senator and governor of Virginia. I got to meet Andrew Young, who ended up being with the United Nations for a while, and then mayor of Atlanta. I got to meet a number of people, and I just missed being a caretaker for Betty Ford by 1 week. But that's okay. I got to meet a number of people, and many of them were very favorable to me and took me on tours of the White House and the Capitol and met with me, at the Capitol building.
Oh, that sounds terrific.
It was exciting.
Yes. I hear your campaign's got its own logo. That's pretty neat. Can you tell us how you arrived at getting a logo for your campaign?
When we were trying to come up with the idea of a logo, my daughter came up with this brilliant idea. She took elements from the New Mexico flag, the Zia symbol, and she created family groups out of the rays, and it made a circle which created a community. And for me, this includes everything that I stand for in terms of I believe in strong families. It creates a strong community, and in the end, it'll create a strong economy.
Great. Let's take a look at that logo right now. Angie, I'd like you to take a moment and talk to the voter and tell them why they should vote for Angie Paz Carver this November.
I was born in this district. I was raised. I went to school. Once a dog, always a dog. I raised my kids. I have my business. I know this district. I'm not a politician. I'm a leader, and I get things done. I've been married for 36 years. I have 4 grown children. I've cared for 21 treatment foster kids. I'm a small business owner. I'm a health nurse practitioner. I am a Navy veteran. I have so much to offer. And I want your vote this November. And if you can do it, go early voting. Thank you.
Well, thank you for joining us on The Voter's Choice. As you can see, we've learned a lot from Angie Paz Carver, and we've learned that she's not a politician. She's a real person bringing real answers to Santa Fe. So get out and vote. Don't stay at home. And I'll tell you what, I'll see you at the polls.